So who should pick Albuquerque's next police chief? City leaders or you, the voter? That is a question that city councilors are set to talk about tonight at their meeting. News 13's David Romero is live at City Hall downtown with a preview. And David, this idea has already gotten a lot of people to talk.
That's right, Matt. It's a proposal that's seeing a lot of debate from both sides, whether Chief Ray Schultz should be replaced by the voters or if that decision should be left up to the mayor as it is right now. Now, if passed, the actual chance to vote for the new police chief wouldn't come for at least another year. Now, Councilor Ken Sanchez's proposal would have a new chief elected every 4 years by voters. Tonight's meeting will be the first discussion of that proposal. From there, it would go to Finance Committee, then likely back to the council. There has been some public question recently as to, or rather about Chief Ray Schultz's ability to run the department after 17 people have died in 24 officer-involved shootings. Now, those shootings have happened within the course of the last 2 years. Sanchez says if the proposal is killed, the discussion will remain that something should be done to address issues at APD.
We need to restore confidence in our department. You know, we get people coming down to the council meetings and saying that they're afraid to call 911. That should never be the case. You know, when people are in an emergency situation, they should be able to pick up that telephone, dial 911 without having any fear of the Albuquerque Police Department.
Now, right now, there is a crunch for councilors to hurry up and get this passed if they're going to do anything with it. That's because the deadline to get it on the November ballot is coming up on September 3rd. Now, coming up in our next half hour, we're going to hear from another city councilor as to where the issue will likely go from here. Matt, back to you.
Thank you for the preview, David. The current police chief, Ray Schultz, has been in charge of the department for the last 7 years. Also tonight, city councilors are set to talk about fixing a big problem that a News 13 Larry Barker investigation exposed. Right now, the Office of Administrative Hearings, which decides what should happen when you complain about everything from parking tickets to zoning disputes, is very independent, but City Councilor Dan Lewis wants a city clerk to oversee it. This is because Larry Barker's investigation found that 2 hearing officers, Anita Reyna and her boss, Roberto Abitorio, were working side jobs on city time, and Abitorio was even using his city office as a private law practice.
I mean, the desire is to put the office a little closer to the people, a little more accountable to the people, and yet still remaining its independent function.
However, not everyone likes this idea. Back in June, Councilor Debbie O'Malley told us this idea was a knee-jerk reaction and that having the city clerk in charge of the Office of Administrative Hearings would make it less independent.
Later today, police in Wisconsin could release the name of the man accused of opening fire at a Sikh temple near Milwaukee. We have local reaction coming up in a moment, but first we have more on the shooting. The gunman killed 6 people in the temple on Sunday. The rampage left terrified worshipers hiding in closets and others texting friends outside for help.
It's shocking. You don't expect this at the church.
It's astounding that people can behave in this manner, and it makes you question humanity in some ways.
Now, the suspect was killed outside the temple in a shootout with police. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News he was a heavy-set 40-year-old Caucasian. Officials say he was armed with a 9mm semi-automatic pistol that was purchased legally in a local gun shop. Now, local police are calling the attack domestic terrorism. So far, investigators have found no link between the suspected shooter and any known extremist groups. And you know, members of the Sikh population here in New Mexico are waking up this morning still in disbelief over what happened. Services went on as scheduled at a local Sikh temple in Albuquerque yesterday. Followers there told us they were very disturbed by the mass shooting. One local Sikh says there's been a rise in hate crimes against them ever since the September 11th terrorist attacks. They believe it's because of their physical appearance that they are often mistaken for members of the Muslim religion.
Later today, we should learn more about a bad crash in Roswell that killed a mother and her young son this weekend. Right now, Roswell police say it looks like alcohol was involved in this crash where Mandy Miranda and her 4-year-old son died. A 6-year-old girl was also hurt in the wreck. She is out of the hospital this morning. Crash happened about 3 o'clock Sunday morning at Southeast Main in Brasher. Police say the driver of the Cadillac Escalade, which he saw, took off running afterward. Officers have still not found that person. Well, a pit bull attack to tell you about this morning where police say a family's dog attacked a baby in northeast Albuquerque. This happened yesterday afternoon at this home on Schumacher Street. It's near Unser and Ouray. Police say the baby is okay and did not have to go to the hospital. Animal control officers have taken that pit bull and will hold it for at least 10 days That's what happens anytime they're called out for a dog attack. In overnight news this morning, it took 10 years and $2.5 billion, but NASA has successfully landed the Mars rover Curiosity on the red planet.
Yeah, Curiosity survived what NASA called 7 minutes of terror as it was landing. And guess what? New Mexico played a huge part in the success.
Touchdown confirmed. We're safe on Mars.
Well, scientists from Los Alamos helped design several important fixtures on the rover. It was an 8-month voyage to get to Mars, but once it did, Curiosity went through, as I mentioned, what's being described as 7 minutes of terror to land on the planet. It hit the atmosphere at 13,000 miles per hour before jet engines kicked it into slow it down. A crane then lowered the rover safely onto the surface.
This is not an incremental step forward. This is a revolutionary step forward.
Just minutes after the rover landed, pictures were beamed back. Curiosity is on a mission to find the building blocks of life on Mars. And some of the fixtures, by the way, designed by scientists from Los Alamos, included a laser device that will actually help determine what some of the Martian surface is made of.
Yes, they're going to start digging into that surface. They think sometime in September they'll start taking samples of the soil. Then in October they're going to drill into the rock.
And those images are incredible.
Oh, I know. I think that right there, that is a video depiction of it. Some of the pictures that are just coming in, NASA's got them. They said the first couple were grainy, and now they're getting better, even some HD quality images that we'll probably be able to see later today.
What a great mission.
Yes.